students, Assalamu Mualaikum. I'm Rabeya. In my today's video, I will discuss with you some topics from your physics book. And we all know that the first chapter from your physics book is physical quantities and their measurements. In my previous videos of physics, I discussed with you definition of physics, in which topic we knew about what is physics. After that, we discussed about the scope of physics. In the discussion of scope, we knew about some branches of physics such as astrophysics, medical physics, biophysics, chemical physics, etc. And in the discussion of scope, we also knew about the working area of physics such as thermodynamics, heat, sound, magnetism, optics, molecular and atomic physics, solid state physics, nuclear physics, etc. And the last topic I discussed with you, that was history of physics in the aspect of scientific view. And we all know that history of physics is divided into 4 parts. These parts are initial stage, developing stage of science, introduction to modern physics, and contemporary physics. In the discussion of these 4 stages, we knew about many more contributions of our great and noble scientists such as scientist Archimedes, Pythagoras, Einstein, Marie Curie, Stephen Hawking, etc. In my today's video, I will discuss with you actually objective of physics. And in this topic, we will know about the purpose which actually physics tries to fulfill always. So, our today's discussion topics are about objective of physics. And objective of physics is divided into 3 parts. First one is unfold the mystery of nature. Second one is to know the laws of nature. And third one is development of technology using the laws of nature. So, let's get started our today's video. According to our previous videos, the branch of science which tries to understand matter and energy and the interaction between them is called physics. Physics is one of the fundamental branch of science. Through the inclusion of astronomy, physics is perhaps the oldest branch of science. The main object of physics is to understand the behavior of this universe. At the same time, physics tries to develop the technology with the laws of nature. Therefore, this fundamental branch of science encompasses the study of matter, its motion and behavior along with energy and force. Through the study of physics, it has been possible to classify the materials based on their characteristics. However, based on changes and properties, all materials also have been distinguished. As another branches of science, the area of physics is also very large. Hence, for easily explanation, objectives of physics can be divided into 3 parts. First one is unfold the mystery of nature. Second one is to know the laws of nature, and last one is development of technology using the laws of nature. By knowing the mystery of nature, physics has discovered the laws of nature, and with the application of these laws, this fundamental branch of science is continuing the development of technology till now in this 21st century. Through the discussion of these 3 topics, objectives of physics will have been described properly. At first, we will discuss about unfold the mystery of nature. In the discussion of unfold the mystery of nature, at first we will know about the mysteries of magnetism and electricity. Physics is continuously working to unfold the mysteries of this nature. Magnetism was an unfolded mystery of the nature till the 11th AD. The elaboration of AD is after the birth of Jesus Christ. The lodestone is a natural magnetic mineral magnetite. They can attract magnets and iron obtained in nature. The hanging lodestone piece is the world's first compass, and the name lodestone comes from its importance in determining the early direction. The lodestone is an extremely rare form of ferrous-ferric oxide, which is an oxide compound of iron. At 11th century, the Chinese discovered that a freely suspended elongated lodestone would tend to set with its long axis, approximately north-south. That's why hanging lodestone is the first compass of this world. This special type of lodestone was known as magnetism at that time. Now we will discuss about the mystery of electricity. People have known about electricity for many thousands of years. In about 1000 BC, the ancient Greeks started to navigate the Black Sea and opened up trade routes to the Baltic regions. At that time, amongst the many trade items, there was a substance which the Greeks obtained from the Baltic. They called this substance as electrum, but nowadays we call it as amber. Amber is a fossilized pine resin which is used today as a gemstone. In about 600 BC, ancient Greek philosopher Thales discovered that amber possesses a rather property. When amber is rubbed with fur, it develops the ability to attract light objects such as feathers. This special type of property that belongs to an amber was called electricity. After the invention of electricity property into an amber, many more another objects with this type of property had been discovered at that time. Many researches were conducted on it in the 18th century, and the scientists discovered that this property is actually two different forms of the same force, and this force is called electromagnetic force. Okay, now we can say the unification of magnetism and electricity force is togetherly known as electromagnetic force. After that, we will know about the mystery of electroweak force. After the invention of radioactivity, while explaining a special type of radiation called beta ray, a new type of force called weak nuclear force was discovered. This weak nuclear force is responsible for radioactive decay by being able to convert a proton into a neutron or convert a neutron into a proton. Later on, the physicists discovered that the electromagnetic and weak nuclear forces can be understood as a single force. This single force representing unification of the electromagnetic and weak nuclear forces. This is known as electromagnetic weak force. Since the electromagnetic force is the combination of electromagnetic force and weak nuclear force, that's why the physicists think that two different forces in nature called gravitational force and nuclear force also will be brought under the same law in the future. Here I should inform you that nuclear force and weak nuclear force are not the same. These two forces are totally different from one another. After that, now we will discuss about the mystery of smallest particle of atom. At around 19th century, scientists first gave the theory of atom, which was not acceptable at that time. But a few years later, atom idea had been accepted to all. At the same era, electron and nucleus were discovered as the structural material of atom. Electron was considered as the smallest particle of elements at that time. After the invention of electron, proton and neutron, it is seen that these elementary particles also consist of quarks. A quark is a type of elementary particle and a fundamental constituent of matter. So, quarks cannot exist independently but as a constituent part of the matter. Protons consist of two up quarks and one down quark, whereas a neutron is made up of two down quarks and one up quark. After the invention of quarks, at present age, the researches of smallest particle are being continuing on the topic whether electrons and quarks are made of strings. So that was the finishing discussion of Unfold the Mystery of Nature. Our next discussion will be on To Know the Laws of Nature, which is the second part from the objectives discussion of physics. In the discussion of knowing the laws of nature, we will discuss about the laws of gravitation. From the ancient time, human realized that if something is released from above, it falls down, which refers the earth attracts everything towards its center. Gravitational force, which is an indivisible force that pulls objects toward each other. Objects with more mass have more gravity. Similarly, gravity gets weaker with more distance. Sir Isaac Newton discovered the laws of gravity to explain this falling down nature of objects. With the help of the gravitation law, the motion of a falling body can be explained as well as the rotation of the earth about the sun too. The main objective of physics is to find out the laws of nature by doing both theoretical and experimental researches. We all know that the legend Sir Isaac Newton discovered gravity when he saw a falling apple while thinking about the forces of the nature. Whatever really happened, scientist Newton realized that some forces must be acting on falling objects like apples because otherwise they would not start moving from rest. Here in this slide I have added an image of Sir Isaac Newton and the law of gravitational force. This law is capital F is equal to capital G into m1 m2 divided by r square. Here m1 and m2 are two objects and small r refers the distance between these two objects. Capital G is a gravitational constant and capital F refers to the gravitational force. I have also added an apple tree with much more apple and a figure of earth showing its center. As the earth pulls the object towards its center, a fallen apple always moves downwards instead of upwards because the center of the earth is much lower than its surface. Now we will discuss our next part from the objectives discussion of physics. Now I will discuss about some technologies that physics develops by using the laws of nature. At first, the theory of relativity. From the theory of special relativity, German-born physicist Albert Einstein formulated the law E is equal to mc squared. This equation expresses that mass and energy are the same physical entity and can be changed into each other. In 1938, scientists Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann showed that by breaking a nucleus, the amount of mass is reduced into an atom, and this reduced mass is converted into energy. This is the formula of nuclear bomb. However, nuclear power plants are also built up by using this formula. This formula is known as nuclear fission reaction. Nuclear power plants use heat which is produced during the time of nuclear fission reaction. Okay, our last topic is solid state physics. Solid state physics is the branch of physics where semiconductors are studied. The application of solid state physics is on electronic devices such as mobiles, computers, and optical devices are very much available. So that's all for my today's video. In my next part of physics video, I will add more discussion on solid state physics, inshallah. And in my next physics video, we will start together physical quantities and measurements. Remain with my channel, subscribe Rabeya's knowledge-based academy. See you again in my next physics Bangla version video on same topics. Till then, Khuda Hafiz.